Hi everyone, Katie here. I'm going to be doing just a little video tutorial for how to merge digital stamps. And I typically make 6x6 cards, so what I've already done is create a box here with the dimension of 4.5 by 4.5 so that I know that what size I'll need to fit on the front of my card. This gives me a guideline for what size to make my images. I'm going to pull up my background stamp, and I'm super excited because I get to use one of the new ones that Christy is releasing, which is called Mushroom Garden. I'm going to just copy and paste. You can see that the image is quite a bit bigger than the box that I already made. So I'm going to right click, and you can adjust it here, but since I know that I actually want these two dimensions to be the same, because I want it to actually be a square, instead I'm going to pick my size and position. I'm going to uncheck this box that says lock aspect ratio, and what that's going to do is allow me to change the size of one, like the height, without affecting the size of the width. Because my box is 4.5, I'm going to make it 4.3, so it's a little bit smaller. And then I'll do that down here with my width as well. Once they're the same size, I can go ahead and click this lock aspect ratio again, so that the next time if I go to adjust one of the sizes, it will do them both at the same time. Now that I have my image about the right size, I'm just going to make sure that the box is aligned correctly around it. And I'm pretty happy with the distance that's on the sides. So I'm going to say that I'm good with that. So now I need to go ahead and pull in my actual character images. And because of the mushrooms, I want to go ahead and use a fairy. So I'm going to come over here, and I want to use Shy Fairy. The important thing to remember is that you get two versions of the stamps, two different types, when you order them. One of them will be JPEG, and as you can see, the white box around it is apparent. And then you get a PNG option where you can see the white box around it is actually transparent. Because we don't want that white box to show up when we put this image over the top of our background, we're going to use the PNG image. So make sure that that's the one that you have, and then you can copy and paste. The images are always going to be bigger, so I typically just make it 4 inches just because that makes it small enough that I can see what I'm doing with it. Now I've decided that I want my Shy Fairy to sit on this mushroom right here, but I don't want her legs coming off to the right. I'm going to want them to come off to the left. So that means that I need to adjust this image. Now there's a really handy option here that's called rotate. And as you flip through the different options, it's going to give you a little preview of what that is going to do to the image. So I want to use flip horizontal, which basically gives you a mirror image. This is one of the things I love about digital stamps, is that you can play with them like this, adjust them a little bit easier. So now she's facing the direction that I want her to. But if you see, if I try and click and drag her, it moves my background image around, and I don't want that. So I'm going to right click, and I'm going to come to wrap text. And the same as it did when I was flipping through my other options for rotating, it's going to give me a preview of what these different options mean. I'm searching for the one that means that she's going to show on top of the background stamp, which is in front of text. So now she's showing over the top of my image. The only thing left to do is make her the correct size and arrange her with where I want her on the image. So I'm going to make her just a little bit smaller there. And I know I want her actually sitting on top of the mushroom. Now, I'm going to just rotate her just a bit so she looks like she's perched a little bit more naturally on there. And then one of the things I like to do is, if I want to be a little bit more exact and I don't want her to move a whole ton of distance. Instead of using my mouse to do that, you can use your arrow keys on your keyboard. Gives you a little bit more control about how much you're actually moving the image. So now that looks like a fairly natural pose to me. She looks like she's sitting on top of the mushroom there. And I think I might just a little bit more. This part is the part where you just get to play with it a little bit until it looks the way that you want it to. So I'm comfortable with this. This would be an easy place for you to stop and you have a scene. I want to take it a little bit further because I want to actually give her a little friend. So I'm going to go back to my images, and I don't want to do another image where she's sitting. So I think I'm going to try using an image where she's floating. And to do that, I'm going to use my giggle fairy. I'm going to come back in, I'm going to make sure that I have the PNG image so it has the transparent background, and I'm just going to copy and paste. These steps are very much the same as before. I'm going to make her a little bit smaller. I don't need to rotate her because I like that she's going to be facing Shy Fairy. And so all I need to do now is make it so that she's going to show up in front of the background again. And we already know from our other one that that's by choosing in front of text. Now she's available for me to just move around with my mouse. And I know I'm going to need to make her smaller. For some reason for me, I kind of see her as being even a little bit smaller than Shy Fairy. Now this is where you can see that it's helpful to have that outline because it's going to show me exactly where I need to place her so that she's inside the box. And then again, it's just a matter of playing with it a little bit until you get her positioned exactly for where you want her. I do want to make sure, because I want her to appear that she's floating, that this foot isn't actually touching any of the background images like a mushroom so that it looks like she's standing on it. So I'm pretty happy with this. I'm going to take one last look at it in the preview mode to make sure that there's no tweaking that I want to do when I see it from afar. I'm still pretty happy with that, so all that's left to do is print and color and then put it on a card. Thanks so much for watching. I hope that this was helpful, and make sure that you check out the shop for some more of these wonderful background stamps. Bye!